Hi, hello, and welcome back, everybody, to Go Go Nippon, my first trip to Japan. Last time we were checking out a bunch of temples that I really couldn't even name. Personally, turn that down a little bit. I couldn't even name, and I'm not even gonna try. So, let's get back to it. Mishima Yukio Kinkaju. Words that I can't say. Anyways, has been translated into many other languages, so you should read about it if you get the chance, Makoto says. Sure, I will, I say. He probably wrote it after visiting the place for himself, so it'll probably be more interesting now than if I had read it before, I say. I'll be sure to look around for it when I get home. I think I might try to read it when I get home too, Akira. So self-conscious now about pronouncing everything. Good grief. Akira. I know it's not what I was calling her before. Well, whatever. I might try and get it. I see, Makoto says. I think you would get a lot out of it, Akira. I guess. Sure. I'm going with that. The temple, huh? I think to myself. The walls are stuck with gold leaf, so it's as gold as the name suggests. I'd heard that ancient Europe referred to Japan as Japing, the land of gold. But looking at this, I can see why Marco Polo would have felt that way. What do you think of Kyoto so far, Makoto asked me. Let's see, I say. At first, I wasn't really seeing the town's history and culture at all. But the more we walk around, the more I feel like the traditional atmosphere seeping in all over. The more I feel the traditional atmosphere seeping in all over. That's right, Akira. Self-consciousness. That was right. That's right. Kyoto. I'm getting bad here. Kyoto has a lot of temples and shrines. You can walk from temple to temple and shrine to shrine. Just walking around can give you a deep impression of the town. Yeah, that's really true, I say. But how do I say this? It's more than that. I struggle to find the words. Like, even among the smallest shops in town, so many of them sell traditional crafts and goods. So, that also gives me the impression of a town that values its history. That's true, Makoto agrees. While Kyoto continues to expand, the city as a whole does protect its traditions. I think that's what makes it amazing. Preserving the history while taking in the new, I think to myself. But now that I think about it, I think Tokyo has a similar sort of atmosphere. With Kyoto, it just feels a whole lot sharper. When I think about it that way, Kyoto really is like a representation of Japan itself. Ah, that's it, I say, excitedly. There's one thing that surprised me in coming to Kyoto. Surprised you? Akira. I don't even know anymore. I'll check after this episode. What is it? She asks. You know, the language, I say. Language? She says. Akira? Sure. Language? Akira asks. Ah, I see. It's because it's not like Tokyo Japanese. That's right, I say. It's a dialect, right? It is a dialect, right? I ask. The accent and the words people use here is nothing like the Japanese I know. That's true, Makoto agrees. People in Kyoto and nearby Osaka and Kobe speak what is called Kashiben. Kanshiben? Kanshiben, I say? Yes, Makoto says. Specifically, Kobe and Osaka and Kyoto all have their own dialects, but the general term for them is Kashiben. Kashiben, I see, I say. It's hard for even native Japanese to imitate Kashiben. It's a unique way of speaking. says Makoto. I see, I say. But how should I say? It feels like it has a nucleus that I don't hear in Japanese of Tokyo. In the Japanese of Tokyo. That's true, Akira agrees. It's fast-paced and kind of funny, she says. That's right, I say. When you listen on an exchange, it almost sounds like they might be bursting out laughing. You remember what I said before, Makoto says. That Kyoto was the capital of Japan long ago? She asked me. Well, while that was going on, the city of Osaka was developing next door. Osaka developed as a merchant city. They based their lives around merchant culture. So, I think their language developed around the interactions between a shop owner and customer. Making the customer feel comfortable is so important in the business world, Akira says. You mean, I say, they make them laugh so they relax and feel more like buying things, I ask? It's just my own speculation, Makoto says, but I wonder if it might not be true. The real Kansan has done a lot to develop comedians and comedy culture, so you might hear Kansan Ben on TV too, Akira says. Now that you think about it, I say, it sounds really cute when girls speak it too. Akira says, we don't speak Kasabin. Does that mean you don't think we're cute? She asked me. That's not it, I quickly stammer out. That's not what I was trying to say at all, I say. So you're saying, Akira said. Oh, no, I'm sorry. So you're saying you'd wish we both spoke Kasabin? Akira says indignantly. That's right, exactly. I mean, that's exactly the same complaint. Makoto says, even without speaking Kasabin, I think we make a good comedy team, don't you? Anyways, Makoto says, let's go to one last place today. It's very close to where we are now. What kind of temple is it this time, I ask her. Oh my, we're not going to a temple, she says. Really, I ask? Then where are we? Ta-da, Akira says. This is Kyoto's premier entertainment district. Gion? Wow, I say, but the buildings still have an older, refined feeling to them. The town of Gion is the gateway to the Yakuza Shrine. Akira says it's basically a town that sprang up along the road to the shrine. The name Gion comes from the fact that Yakuza Shrine was once known as the Gion Shrine, Makoto informs me. I see, I say. So, is there something on this street? I ask. Like what? Akira says. Well, I say, it's certainly a very beautiful street and has a refined atmosphere, but isn't there like a famous building or, I say, yeah, there's nothing like that here. But in its place, Akira says. In its place, I ask? Ah, look, there, walking towards us, she says. Walking, I ask? Ah, I say. There's a woman walking towards us, I think to myself. Tiny red lips on a face made up in white. And such a beautiful kimono. Is that a high-class geisha? I ask. Geisha, sorry. Sort of, Makoto says, but geisha is only for Tokyo. In Kyoto, they're called Geiko. Geiko, I say. Yes, Makoto says. And young apprentice Geiko are known as Maiko. She looks young, so she's probably a Maiko, Akira says. Ah, I say, she turned to us and bowed. She's so cute. Hey, Onichan, Akira says, I hear that back in the day, Macchio girls were around 10 years old. Is that true? Akira asks. That's what they say, Makoto agrees. 10 years old, I say? They've started that young, I ask? Yeah, Makoto says. Because Macchio and Geiko would play instruments at banquets and sing and dance. They were like flowers, used to add life to the party. to add life to the party, Makoto says. And men of high standing and rank would come to them. So, in order to keep them from offending anyone, they received strict instruction in discipline and manners from a very young age. That's the kind of system it was, Makoto says. So, for all its beauty, their world was a harsh one too, I say. Yes, Makoto says, but these days, it seems as problematic to make children work so hard. It is seen as problematic to make children work so hard. Nowadays, you can't begin Macchio training until you finish school. I saw on TV before, too, that there are fewer and fewer women who want to become Macchio these days, Akira says. I guess that's true in all countries, I say. Jobs that were standard long ago are gradually declining. It's too bad, but... Yeah, Makoto says. But then the TV said that more people want to do it nowadays compared to before, Akira says. But they say that the training is so strict that many people just up and quit. Just because you want to do it doesn't mean you'll succeed. Yeah, I say. But, I think to myself, Macchio and Geikyo are part of an amazing culture. There must be more people who want to carry it on. That's it, I say. As long as we're here, why don't we call it Geikyo-san tonight and... Unfortunately, that's not possible, Akira says. Huh? Why not, I ask. The girls will refuse first-time customers. Most people have to be referred by existing customers, Akira says. I see. There are some exceptions lately, Makoto says. I hear there are some events where you can hire a Geikyo for a brief period of time. But it probably takes a lot of money, right? She asks. I see. I guess that's true, I respond. Yeah, I understand that. It was just an idea, I say. When you say it like that, Akira says, I can tell you're really upset about it. I told you I was joking, I said. I don't think you were, Akira says. Anyways, Makoto says, as long as we're here, we should stop by the Yasaka shrine, then head back to our hotel. Ask Makoto. Okay, we both agree. Alright, everybody, I'm going to call it here for this episode. Well, you know what? We might as well transition to the next day. Whew. We visited the Yasaka shrine, which was beautiful, I think to myself. Our hotel might be more humble than the halls where Geikyo performed, but it was still a nice place. The food in Kyoto tastes completely different from the food in Tokyo, too. Kyoto was a nice place, not at all inferior to Tokyo. Just one day doesn't seem like enough to experience it all, though. But tomorrow I will go back to Tokyo, and in 3 days it's time I go home. I've got to make the most of Japan in the time I've got left. All right, everybody. That's the end of the fourth day, end of the fourth day. We're now transitioning to the fifth day, and I'm calling it here. As always, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Go Go Nippon, and I will see you next time for more whenever we continue to look around the beautiful place of Kyoto.